Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here. I don't care about sports, but due to recent events, I think the time is right to discuss sports in general. I played soccer in fourth grade. That's my level of knowledge about sports. But the recent events that I would be referring to are with Haaland, Haaland, and Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. My thesis is that team sports suck, and individual sports are superior in every way. And I'm not philosophically married to this. If you like to watch a team, teams are fine. A bunch of people getting along together and helping each other, whatever. I'm saying that it is an element of corruption and that individual sports are superior. Let's look at the field pass in a soccer game at a crucial moment. The star of the team is wide open and his teammate fails to pass it. The star is Haaland and the teammate just did not pass it. And as someone who doesn't watch sports, I don't watch sports, I know a little bit about soccer because I played in fourth grade, but that was the last time I paid any attention to soccer or any sports at all. It was fourth grade. So I watched this and I was infuriated. And you can see the body language of this guy. Look, nodding, not passing until he's surrounded. And when he's finally surrounded by three guys, then he decides, I'm going to kick it now. But the whole time, the star of the team is wide open and could have took the ball. Oh my God, it makes me furious still. And what went on in that guy's mind? You can see him dribbling the ball and thinking something like, oh, Haaland is such a selfish bastard. He's so famous. Fuck him. I'm not going to pass the ball to him. He's always the center of attention. He's always right there. Why does he have to be there? Fuck him. You can just feel his hatred of Haaland. Haaland is too good and too famous, and fuck him. That's why he didn't pass to him. And I don't know, I can't read the guy's mind. You take your own opinion of that. What a loser to not pass the ball. And the top comment on one of the videos I watched was, I want that selfish bastard removed from the team. And everybody upvoted and commented. No, there's nothing selfish about the guy. I'm not even going to say his name. It starts with an S. I won't even dignify him because he's so jealous of Haaland he wouldn't pass the ball to him. So let's not make him famous now. Or make his name a synonym for loser or jerk or jealous jerk. So that is infuriating that kind of jealousy and pettiness can take place on the field. And if we're talking individual sports, one runner is running for themselves by themselves. They run. There's 5 other runners. Everybody's just running to see who's the fastest. There's no pettiness or whatever, screwing with your teammate or being jealous of your team. No, everything's done on an individual level with individual sports. All right, now, the WNBA. What would happen, ladies and gentlemen? What would happen if women had their own basketball association? Women playing basketball. Wouldn't that be awesome? Girl power. Do you think that they would be petty and backbiting and gossipy and cliquish and sort of high school nonsense, drama? No, of course not. Of course not. No, I'm sure it would be just like the NBA. Professional and courteous and professional, above all professional, right? No. Let's do a word cloud for the WNBA. The recent stuff, the last year or more. Let's see, violent, DEI, racist, thug, lesbian, jealous, petty, corrupt, immature, unsportsmanlike, unsportswomanlike? Well, this is coming to define sportswomanlike. This is sportswomanlike. Unsportsmanlike, for sure, but sportswomanlike. Because I think, for one thing, they're not really afraid of each other, these girls. If you're really mean to this girl and she comes up and starts punching you, you're really not going to hurt each other. Girls have a hard time hurting each other. You can watch UFC fights and eventually it ends and one of them's a winner, but nobody knocks anybody out. They do. Some girls knock each other out. Some girls knock each other out with one kick. So it happens. But as a matter of fact, girls can't harm each other quite as easily as men can. Men getting in a fist fight is quite dangerous. Girls getting in a scuffle isn't very dangerous, so they're just not afraid of each other. Maybe that's the root of it. Whatever the root of it is, they are ridiculously violent, petty, dramatic, corrupt. The refs aren't calling this stuff. That's obvious. It's absolutely corrupt. And the refs are either paid or they are jealous and involved themselves. So that's the WNBA. Now, put all of that behind you. Put all of that in a bucket and set it out back. Oftentimes I say, put it in your pocket. But put it in a bucket and set it out back. And then come back in and let's do A Passage from the Greek Way by Edith Hamilton. Published in, I should have glanced at this, copyright 1930, 1942. This is from chapter 2, page 18. The Greeks were the first people in the world to play, and they played on a great scale. All over Greece there were games, all sorts of games, athletic contests of every description, races, horse, boat, torch races, contests in music where one side outsung the other, in dancing on greased skins, sometimes to display a nice skill of foot and balance of body. Games where men leaped in and out of flying chariots. Games so many one grows weary with the list of them. They are embodied in the statues familiar to all, the disc thrower, the charioteer, the wrestling boys, the dancing flute players. The great games. There were 4 that came at stated seasons. They were so important, when one was held, a truce of God was proclaimed, so that all Greece might come in safety without fear. There, glorious-limbed youth, the phrase is Pindar's, the athlete's poet, strove for an honor so coveted as hardly anything else in Greece. An Olympic victor, triumphing generals would give place to him. His crown of wild olives was set beside the prize of the tragedian. Splendor attended him. Processions, sacrifices, banquets, songs the greatest poets were glad to write. Thucydides, the brief, the severe, the historian of that bitter time, the fall of Athens, pauses when one of his personages has conquered in the games, to give the fact full place of honor. If we had no other knowledge of what the Greeks were like, if nothing were left of Greek art and literature, the fact that they were in love with play and played magnificently would be proof enough of how they lived and how they looked at life. Wretched people, toiling people do not play. Nothing like the Greek games is conceivable in Egypt or Mesopotamia. The life of the Egyptian lies spread out in the mural paintings down to the minutest detail. If fun and sport had played any real part, they would be there in some form for us to see. but Egyptians did not play. Solon, Solon, you Greeks are all children, said the Egyptian priest to the great Athenian. At any rate, children or not, they enjoyed themselves. They had physical vigor and high spirits and time, too, for fun. The witness of the games is conclusive. And when Greece died, and her reading of the great enigma was buried with her statues, play, too, died out of the world. The brutal, bloody Roman games had nothing to do with the spirit of play. They were fathered by the Orient, not by Greece. Play died when Greece died, and many a century passed before it was resurrected. To rejoice in life, to find the world beautiful and delightful to live in, was a mark of the Greek spirit which distinguished it from all that had gone before. It is a vital distinction. The joy of life is written upon everything the Greeks left behind. Ladies and gentlemen, once in a while I do feel a little bit guilty for not being more into sports as such, and at least enjoying a bit of tennis, I think, would be good to maybe enjoy, because that's an individualist sport. And the Olympics themselves and the run-up to the Olympics, people qualifying for it in local meets and whatever, those are individualist sports. So there's still some individual. And then, watching Michael Jordan of the Chicago Bulls do his thing, and you're there to see him, fine. You want to watch, you say, I go to see the Chicago Bulls, but I really like Michael Jordan. Well, you're kind of proving my point. Like, even though it's a team, you're talking about an individual still. Individuals are still extremely important, even in team sports. So I think getting all of the team junk and crap and drama out of the way would be a better way to enjoy sports. And I feel guilty that I'm so against sports, really not against them, but I just don't give a good goddamn about them. And let's finish this off with a quote from the great philosopher Woody Allen. Woody Allen says, if everything's meaningless and you enjoy watching the Knicks play basketball, then who cares? Sit down and enjoy watching a basketball game. Who cares? Everything's meaningless anyways. All right, ladies and gentlemen, drop me money in Patreon if you want to encourage me to do more videos. Respond to this if you think team sports are great, or you don't think that the WNBA is full of lesbian thugs. And see you in the next one.